our last episode of Insight, we highlighted how the central government had chosen to remain silent on activist Sonam Wangchuk's week-long hunger strike. The hunger strike was in demand for resignation of Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. It is a demand raised by young protesters under the banner of Cockroach Janta Party. The protests by the members and supporters of the Cockroach Janta Party have refused to die down. Rather, these protests have spread to other towns and cities in the country, from epicenter of Jantar Mantar in New Delhi. The ripple effect of the protest in the city is despite the recent police atrocity. On July 20, hundreds of CJP supporters started their peaceful march towards Parliament, which was supposed to sit on the monsoon session on the same day. However, Delhi police used excesses to stop the peace march and used lathi-charge, water cannons, tear gas to disperse the crowd. Several protesters were injured and one young woman is in critical condition. And yet, the central government has refused to enforce accountability and had remained adamant on not paying heed to the demands of the protesters. What was projected by the government as an olive branch to the protesters turned out to be farce. Instead of assuring CJP representative of corrective action, the government asked them to cooperate and end the protest. It seemed more like a threat in the grab of friendly gesture. Is the government testing the patience of its own citizens, or is it that it absolutely does not care about the grievances of the citizens? Either way, it is definitely not doing its job and creating an atmosphere of violence and fear. Had the Honorable Prime Minister ended his silence and spoken on the issue instead of waiting for the monsoon session of Parliament to begin, and had the government reached out to the protesters and assured accountability, the violence could have been averted. Instead, the government did nothing. Probably that was the part of the bigger plan. Push young protesters to the brink of despair and frustration and use law enforcement to create fear among them and silence them forever. However, the government probably did not foresee the retaliation and resilience of youth and did not expect the widespread support of that the CJP movement would get. While Cockroach Janta Party started as a satirical take on remark by none other than the Chief Justice of India, the protests spread like wildfire soon. After Wangchuk started his hunger strike, many cities in different states, impromptu gatherings of young protesters who showed solidarity with those in Delhi. Even Shillong saw such overwhelming support. Other northeastern states also experienced similar youth gatherings. It is heartening to see how Gen Z of India is reacting to government's high-handedness and refusing to give in to the system's pressure. Amid all these, the judiciary's role also remained questionable. The Supreme Court of India on July 22nd declined to entertain an urgent listing of petition about police atrocity against protesters. It bluntly told the lawyer not to waste court's time. It also refused to watch the video showing the police attacking on protesters. In Shillong, an advocate who is also a prominent BJP member bluntly said that these protesters should be shot and there is no action against him for insinuating violence. Now, if Judiciary refuses to listen to citizens' problem and refuse to be compassionate towards the youth who were all throughout protesting peacefully, then what can the citizens of the country expect? Who should the common man fall back on in the times of injustice and system failure? In such a circumstance, the opposition political parties, including Congress, have already entered the scene. The strength of the opposition political party, whether national or regional, would definitely add steam to the students' protest. But the problem is the opposition bloc is divided and there is no united front so far. The Congress, being most prominent political entity in the opposition, bloc is trying to create its own space in the protest against NDA government. Having said that, it is the right time for the opposition parties to come together and corner the BJP-led NDA government, and they must make the best of this opportunity. In doing so, they should not forget that the future of lakhs of students and youth is at stake, and they must respect the sentiments of the protesters. As the 7 states prepare for assembly election in 2027 and as the country waits for crucial Lok Sabha election in 2029, this Gen Z movement becomes a decisive factor in electoral politics and a crucial weapon for the opposition. But how much this translates into result will only be revealed with time. For now, the fight for justice is on.